This Archiware webinar Wednesday is about portable video production storage and a portable archive. We're using for that the Accusys Gamma Carry, Archiware P5 and mLogic's mTape. With me is my guest Blake Jones. He's an expert colorist and also an expert in building post-production workflows. Hello, Blake.
Hello, Mark. Hi. Hi, everyone.
My name is Marc Batschkus and we are both here in the Archiware headquarters in Munich. So what do we have today as a setup? We have the new Gamma Carry by Accusys, which is a portable production storage. We talk about that in more detail in a minute. We have Archiware P5 as an archive software to archive the finalized footage. And we have mLogic's mTape as a portable LTO tape device here. So why to use portable storage at all? Please tell us a little bit more about the advantages here, Blake.
Okay, well, mainly what you're going to see here is the ability for transporting big data sets when you're doing DIT work and when you're working in the studio. It saves a lot of time when you're doing copy and transfer of data as well. And also it allows you to continue where you left off. Maybe you're working in the field and then you want to finish working on it in the studio. It's very easy. And also it works independent of an internet connection.
More details about the Gamma Carry as a device.
Okay, so it's a portable production storage, small dimensions as you can see, lightweight. It's an 8-bay storage. It's able to accommodate either 3.5 or 2.5-inch drives. And it has a maximum storage capacity of up to 128 terabytes. And its interfaces with Thunderbolt 3. And you can also daisy chain them together. And you have a performance of up to 2,600 megabytes per second. And the price is starting at 1,999 euros, excluding drives and excluding tax.
So how does it perform? And we can see that here in a real-world test.
So here you can see using the AJA and also the Blackmagic speed test using SSD storage. You can see the read-write speed here.
That's quite amazing for a portable device, I would say. Next step in the workflow here is the data management software suite Archiware P5. For those of you who are not familiar with what P5 offers, I give you a very short overview. So P5 is a software suite that covers the ABC of data management, A for archive, B for backup, and C for cloning or replication, and all in one solution. It runs on a wide gamut of operating systems from Mac, Windows, Linux, and a number of NAS vendors, QNAP, Synology, Netgear, Jellyfish, and others. There are more than 18,000 licenses around in the world. And it's storage agnostic, so it runs with any storage that you might have or that you plan to buy. For backup and archive, it supports disk, tape, and cloud storage, so you're completely free to build your own storage strategy. And it starts at just 700 euros or 980 US dollar, depending on your requirements. So what does the software suite contain? It consists of 4 modules, starting with P5 Backup, which creates a copy of all important data. You always should have a backup of your production storage. This is for disaster recovery. It could also be an off-site storage when you take tapes off-site or when you use cloud storage off-site. It supports, as already mentioned, disk, tape, and cloud storage, and it's automatic and rotating, which means it overrides itself after the specified retention time is reached, and you specify your own retention time, how long you want to be able to go back. And only an automatic backup can actually protect your production storage, because under time pressure, any manual process will be skipped, and that puts all your data at risk. Next step is P5 Archive. Everything that's completed, that's finalized, that has been handed over to your client needs to be moved to an archive storage, and this creates free space on the production storage, of course. You keep it for long term, because people might return and you might need to reuse the footage that you created already. P5 Archive offers you a mini-MAM feature set that we will see later in the product demo. And again, it supports disk, tape, and cloud storage. The next module is P5 Synchronize. That's for cloning data, mostly time-critical data, where you cannot afford to have a restore process and a runtime associated with it. So you create a secondary storage that contains the whole file set as is, and you can use that as a failover solution. It can be used over LAN or WAN for offsite mirroring of existing storage. And it offers you additionally snapshots and file versions. And the last module is P5 Backup to Go, which is a Mac OS and Windows workstation backup with a timeline restore. It's very low profile and efficient, running in the background of the user so that they can continue working without being interrupted. And why do you archive at all? Well, there are good reasons for that: to create free space on production storage that you otherwise would have to expand. Also keeping the file count on the production storage in a reasonable size so that it's easy to keep an overview and work with it efficiently. You create a single source of truth. Once you archive everything that has been finalized or completed, there's only one place to look for anything that you created already, and that is the archive catalog. Now you're open to reuse, reference, and monetize the assets that you already produced. You can support the requests of returning customers because they assume oftentimes that you archive everything that they ever handed you over or have you created for them. And it saves time finding files, and that's a considerable improvement. And not only saves time, it also saves money because you don't have to expand production storage, and production storage is more costly than the archive storage. And why would we suggest tape here for the long-term archive storage? Well, tape has some specific benefits here. It's the longest proven shelf life of 30 years, so you can really put things away, and rest assured that you can get to them even years later. This offers maximum security through several built-in security layers. Like there's a read after write process, there is error corrections built in, and of course it has a built-in air gap between the actual storage device, the tape itself, and the network that today can carry a lot of online threats and attacks. Offsite storage becomes extremely easy because you just grab a tape set and put it either in the safe or at any offsite location. And it has the lowest price per terabyte, starting at just 10 euros or $10 per terabyte, and that's quite impressive alone. Additionally, there's no monthly cost like with other cloud services where you would have to pay even if you don't use the files anymore, and here you can just put them on a shelf or in the closet or safe and have no additional cost. So now let's jump into the product demo and see how it actually works together, and Blake is going to comment on what he is doing with the Gamma Carry in this workflow.
Okay, so here we have the Gamma Carry using together with Resolve Studio, and we're connected to a Mac Pro. And here I am actually grading a project called Lava Line. And using the Gamma Carry is fantastic because no matter whether it's Blackmagic Raw or ProRes, fantastic performance, and I'm able to actually very quickly jump around between all the different clips and grade all my shots. And so basically you're just able to concentrate on your grading and actually just work with your storage normally as it's just sitting there in the background. Now what we're going to do is actually look at the Gamma Carry connected to the same Mac Pro. And so for example here, we've got all the files that are being accessed directly off of the storage. And then I can also manipulate anything I have to, or I can jump over to the Lava Line project and then I can actually access all the clips that are on there, and then jog back and forth between the timeline and the clips that are the raw clips. So as you can see, whether it's going to be with Final Cut, Adobe Premiere, or Resolve, it all works seamlessly. Using together with Resolve or Final Cut Pro offers you portability, high performance, data security, and also ease of use.
Thank you, Blake, for that. Now let's have a closer look at what P5 brings to the table here. So to start from scratch, we just installed a clean P5, and I'm going to build an archive here from scratch. So we go to the Getting Started, the Setup Assistant. The Setup Assistant allows you to quick configure a basic setup. So here we have the single tape drive. There's a tape auto detection feature available. So we just say add tape drive and step through the wizard. Then it shows me all available drives. The IBM is the built-in drive in the mTape. Shows me an LTO7, press next, and then it becomes a resource for P5. And here I can choose to label an archive tape, which means to format it to be able to use it as an archive, and that's what I choose to do. And here I add the drive to the resources of P5. And this is already it. So the wizard gives me a quick access. Now I could select data to archive already, but I'm choosing to do a side step here because I want to add something to the archive plan that we just configured, because I want to have previews and thumbnails for my media. And so I choose to have the default support for FFmpeg and ImageMagick activated. So that's the default settings. I just press apply. And so for the extensions listed here, I get previews rendered. And the same with ImageMagick. So for still images, I just switch to resolution, make it more visible, and press apply. And now we have a render capability of creating proxies within the archive. So now I choose something to archive after checking if the tape labeling has been finished. So the tape labeling or formatting just finished, and so now we have a formatted tape available. I choose manual archiving here, go to the Gamma Carry storage, and there's a dedicated lava line archive folder that I'm going to archive for this demo here. Select it, press archive, and start. And this gives me already the option to monitor the process, and that's what I'm doing here for this demo. Later on, when it's a routine process, of course, you don't have to monitor that all the time. All the completed jobs drop to the lower part of the interface as you see it here, and there's a traffic light schema has a signal available. So green, everything's okay, yellow, minor glitch, and red, no connection whatsoever or a bigger error. And now you see everything's running fine so far with the labeling, and now creating the clips of the media that I handed over for archiving. This is going to finish in a second probably. Then it will also drop down to this lower part of the archive, as you can see it right now, of the job monitor in the archive. Now we switch to restore from archive and can drill down to this directory that we just archived, switch on the gallery view, switch on the information, and you can see now the single assets being displayed in the archive catalog. This is the proxy that we rendered for this video clip, and you see the thumbnails for the still images. Below the assets, you see the metadata section, and you can populate that with your own metadata fields and menus. It's extremely easy to customize that. A metadata schema is something that I would like to emphasize is important for production to find files maybe years after the production took place. And it's individual to each production, so you should build your own metadata schema. You can do that with a number of helpful metadata fields. Could be technical metadata or descriptive metadata here. And now we could just press the restore to restore any file that we archive. So this is the way it works, and we already built an archive, archived something, formatted a tape within just a couple of minutes. So this was the quick run through. The take-home message is there's a complete mobile production storage workflow consisting of the Accusys Gamma Carry, which is this portable Thunderbolt storage device that just came out from Accusys and is extremely powerful. Archiware P5 for archive backup or cloning. In this case, we just installed or induced the archive portion of it. And LTO tape, in this case the mTape, for long-term archive storage. It's extremely accessible because you can download a free 5 or 30-day trial evaluation, and that is fully functional and can be used with any storage device from p5.archiware.com. And now we are open to take questions from you. There's a questions panel. We have some questions here that we can address right now. Maybe something here for Blake about the Gamma Carry. Could you connect it to Thunderbolt 2 as well?
Yes, of course, that's no problem. Simply connect a adapter to the Thunderbolt cable and you're all set to go.
Okay, there's another question here about the RAID level support of the Gamma Carry. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, included with the Accusys storage is a free software which is called RAIDguard X. And with this, it allows you to create your RAID volume, and there you can select literally any type of RAID level to use.
Okay, there was one question here about P5, about scalability and how big can it go, and does it support libraries? Yes, of course. So the same software that we saw here with a single desktop LTO drive, the same interface, the same installation, works identically with tape libraries, basically of any size. So you can have even a 1,000-slot library with 10 drives that's working identically and scales up to petabytes. I have to emphasize that there are additional features that you can use when having multiple drives available. So there's a tape cloning feature to build identical redundant tape sets, and there's a tape parallelization feature where you can use multiple drives to basically multiply the maximum throughput. Now there's another question about the Gamma Carry here. Is it possible to use it with Apple's Xan?
Yes, it is actually, no problem.
Okay, another one here about using it to charge within the workflow. Can you charge a MacBook during use?
Yeah, yes, you can actually. Simply connect your charging cable to one of the free Thunderbolt ports on the back of the storage, and your charging's done.
Okay. So we see it's an extremely flexible device, almost like a smart disk, but being much more powerful and having much more capacity. There's a question here about the mTape and tape compatibility. So the mTape is available in several models. So you can buy an LTO8 tape that would be able to read and write LTO7 and LTO8. There is an LTO7 version that can read and write LTO6 and 7, but it can also only read LTO5. And there's an LTO6 version that can read and write LTO5 and 6, and can also read LTO4 tapes. So you have a big gamut of choices here, and of course they have other devices as well with 2 drives built in and so on. So there is a question here about cloud support of P5. Yes, P5 supports all the usual cloud vendors, so being it Amazon or Azure or any S3 protocol supported storage. That could also be a private cloud device that you might have at your facility, and also of course the new and extremely attractive cloud vendors like Backblaze and Wasabi are supported. So thank you very much.
Thanks everyone.
And bye-bye.